Welcome to Checks and Balances. I'm Michael Vincent. This is James Blair. And this week on Money Months, do you need to dress for success?
Mike, I'm in a t-shirt that is wrinkled. You're in a free t-shirt.
Yeah, shout out to Machine Limited, best coffee machines in the game.
Yeah. Click on our URL, or what do we do, Ravi? Click in our bio for free whatever. Now, dressing for success. Granted, we're not looking great today. It is a Friday.
It's not that I don't look great. And yes, it's a free t-shirt, but like I still look good.
Okay, we'll see where we go to. So, Mike, the age-old saying, you dress for the job you want, not the job that you have. As time goes on, we're in 2023. Do you think that's still a fair statement?
100%. And I would say this is particularly pertinent when you are younger in your career. And it is, a lot of your personal brand. And both James and I started our corporate careers at Westpac. And even then, I would say that, yep, you got to be good, and yep, you got to be personable, and yep, you got to be able to play the corporate game, but you have to look the part.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's just like a basic requirement that I think a lot of people overlook. So does your attire influence your success?
I would say, yeah, definitely to a degree. And it's about, it is generally speaking for a lot of work, it is a formal setting. And you need to dress appropriately to the industry, your position, and also, I guess, kind of fashion to a degree as well. You can't just be showing up in like some 90s, 80s shoulder pads, going for it.
Unless you're going to be a trendsetter and bring them back, right? Everything goes in circles.
I feel like oversized 80s jackets are kind of in at the moment anyway.
Yeah. Should we go get some Masabo?
Mate,
is it in the budget?
Mate, I couldn't pull off shoulder pads. They're not working.
Yeah, that's right. The shoulders are huge as they are. Yeah, so, I mean, the other big thing with that as well is it really does depend on your industry. There's heaps of companies that we work with, say Colonel down the road that we have a lot to do with. If somebody dressed in a three-piece suit with a tie, they'd stand out like a sore thumb. So it's also about making sure it kind of reflects, the industry you're in.
Yeah, 100%. And we adjust what we wear based on what we are doing that day. James and I presented to some real estate agents yesterday. So we were in suits. Today, I don't have any client meetings on, so I'm in jeans and a t-shirt. It was also a casual Friday. We presented to a primary industry a couple of days before that. So we dress to reflect the culture of the company and how they dress. We are still slightly more formal than them, because it is important for us as people coming into a business to make sure that we're respected and first impressions really count, but we will still dress to reflect that business.
The other piece that's quite interesting is the evolution of work attire over the years. So when I started my career, your boy had 20 ties in his closet, and I had a rotation every day of the different tie that I would wear. Tell you what, it adds a whole new dynamic to your wardrobe, making sure the tie fits with the shirt, that fits with the suit jacket and everything.
Yeah. I have so many cool ties, man. I just will never get to wear, and they're all like, I look at them and I'm like, man, I wish I got to wear this sometimes. Yeah.
It's interesting that. Why do you think it's phased out?
Oh, I think just work attire and people's expectation of what they will get from someone in a work setting is a little bit, it's more casual now. You can be slightly more casual, but you still need to look presentable. Yeah.
And there's the old saying, overdress. You better to overdress than underdress.
Absolutely.
I think that you don't want to be the person in the room where everybody is in suits and you're in t-shirts and jeans. You've misread the situation.
Unless you're Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
But you ain't.
Yeah. Probably Steve Jobs isn't listening to this podcast.
All right.
What about the psychology impact of dressing well, Mike? I mean, the first one is probably to do with the better that you dress, the better you feel. I know when I'm walking down the street in a suit, I definitely feel better about myself.
Shoulders back, chin up, look people in the eye. 100%. If you're dressed, and I mean, for us as guys, there's not there's not too much you can do with a suit. It's a suit.
I mean, you
navy.
do wear the hell out of it.
Yeah, it's usually a navy suit, but like it is one of those things, like the better you are dressed, fundamentally, I think the better you feel.
Yeah, and the other big thing is if you're meeting people for the first time, first impressions matter, right?
Yeah.
And you've got to think about what kind of impression do I want to give this person, because at the end of the day, we all do judge each other.
Yeah, and first impressions do count, right? So I would say if you're thinking about your work attire and work uniform, yep, you've got to put some effort into it. And that can be a real struggle if you are earlier on in your career, because you often don't have a ton of money. You're not on a massive salary, right?
Yeah.
So it's about finding ways to make sure that you look presentable. I remember when I was younger, I had been, my girlfriend at the time, and I had been invited to an event, like drinks at the Northern Club. And the Northern Club is a members club in Central Auckland, and it is probably one of the premier
for backgammon.
Yeah, like the premier clubs, right? So it's quite an expensive place to be. But I remember walking in, sitting down, and like luckily I was in a suit that day because I was working at the bank, and took my jacket off. And the guy came up to me and was like, no, like you're in the sitting room, mate. Like the waiter was like, no, you're in the sitting room. You have to keep your jacket on. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like put my jacket back on. And then we went up to like the dining room where you can take it off. And the guy was like, sir, would you like me to coat check the coat or whatever? And I was like, yeah, okay, cool, man, take it off. And he's like, I'll give it a steam. And I was like, it's a Hallenstein suit, brother. Just chill out, all right? And it's like John Key's stockbroker is the guy I'm talking to. And they're like, oh, mate, like, you guys should really get a membership here. We've got discounted rates for new members. Like young members, I think it's like $15,000 a year or something. And I was like, I'm in a Hallenstein suit, brother. I only have $15,000 a year.
Yeah. I've got this. They're $150 each because I bought 6 of them.
Yeah.
Just in case something pops up on a Saturday.
But again, yep, don't get me wrong. Everyone else is probably in tailored suits in there and, like quite nice stuff. But like, you don't look out of place in a Hallenstein suit if it fits, right?
That's a really good shout, is even if you're on a budget, you can still look good. Dressed. I mean, the other big thing if you're early in your career is probably just do a little bit of research around what the dress codes look like in different industries. Because even if you're in an industry where the dress code has changed, and the tech companies Google and Facebook have probably been some of the key ones where the t-shirts and jeans coming into work have become much more acceptable, but there's still a way. Be key for your thoughts, Mike. When you wear those things, you still want them to look good. Yeah. You don't want to just look like you've just woken up and...
So if you're thinking like a white t-shirt, for example, it should be, a crisp white shirt, freshly ironed, no stains on it at all. Like, probably...
There's no stains on this one. Nah. Your new white shirt yesterday got hit by... was it a bad knee?
My days, man. Like, I mean, I had like 2 hours sleep over about 4 days because we were working, but like, yeah, no, there's nothing worse actually than like if we often wear white shirts. You go to lunch and you eat that spaghetti bolognese, then you're wearing it for the rest of the day, and it's very obvious.
Yeah, cool. The other bit is about like, while you do want to fit in, you do want to express your individuality and make sure you're being authentic to yourself. So that's quite important as well in the modern professional world.
I know, and that's annoying because I can't authentically get a little like cheekbone tattoo, like an eye tat, which I really want, but I'm like, I know I can't have that. And I guess that's another thing with it as well. Like if you have tattoos, a lot of the times you kind of need to cover them up. And maybe I am out of date with that sort of fashion, but I know that in my career, I have had people comment on my tattoos and say like, I would never hire that person because they have tattoos. And that was at Westpac. Yeah. And they didn't even say it to me. They said it about me indirectly, like to someone else who then told me. And I was like, all right, mate, whatever.
Yeah, and that guy was a bit of a,
Yeah.
One thing before...
But like, I guess you just have to remember that even though you might think it's acceptable, a lot of people who are at higher levels in the company who will be looking at you to figure out whether or not you are going to progress may not share the same views as you. And while myself personally, I don't really have any issues with tattoos. Obviously, I have a ton of tattoos. It is something that I have been judged on. And you just got to remember that, like, not everyone has the same views on these things as you do.
Yeah. And if you are going to judge Mike, there's heaps of things you can judge him for negatively outside of the tats. Go based off character. That's an easy one.
But some of the tats are pretty bad.
Yeah. So before we wrap up, one last thing I'm keen to hear, Mike, the working at home piece.
Okay.
Business on top.
I thought you were going to ask me about some of my tats. I was like, don't do it.
Business on top, pajamas on bottom. Is it acceptable?
No, it's not acceptable because you may get found out.
Just don't stand up.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Like, you do want to, like, I enjoy working from home on a Wednesday because I don't have to get dressed up, right? I think that is part of it. But you will never catch me on a Zoom call in a hoodie.
Yep. One last one. Etiquette on video calls and virtual meetings. Camera on, camera off.
If you show up to a virtual meeting and have your camera off, we ain't getting started.
Yeah.
I'm going to sit there and be like, I'm not sitting here as the only person with my camera on. I genuinely think it's rude. You wanted a Zoom call, you show up with the camera on.
Yeah. The only thing, though, if you do a video call with Mike and your camera's off, he probably won't realize because he's just looking at himself.
It's the best for the meeting. Yeah.
On that note, we're going to wrap it up. Action for today is, I don't know, dress, overdress instead of underdress. Make sure you're dressing for the job that you want, not the job that you have. We will catch you tomorrow. Give us a sub, give us a review, give us a like.
Dress the house down, baby.